Good morning. Thanks for joining us here for Wake Up Charlotte to Go. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Sarah French. Let's send it over to Larry Sprinkle for a check of your forecast. Hey there, Larry.
Good morning. We take a look at the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. Fair weather clouds out there. It's going to be fairly hot again today. In fact, it's going to be muggy this morning. Late day storm possible. What's new? And then more of the same Thursday and Friday right before we get to the weekend. Big area of high pressure. Bermuda High anchored out there, not moving very much, bringing that flow from the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, making it hot and very humid again today. Here it is, hour by hour by 11 a.m. right before lunchtime. We're in the low 80s, mid 80s at 1 o'clock. We'll be in the upper 80s for the afternoon. I think our rain and storm chance does increase between about 5 and 9 o'clock tonight. Checking the 7-day forecast into the weekend. Here we go. We're going to be near 90 tomorrow, upper 80s on Friday for the weekend, mid to upper 80s. Could be a storm both days. And then as far as temperatures go, we'll be in the upper 80s Monday and Tuesday of next week. And that's your first one forecast.
Larry, thanks. Turning now to our top stories of the day. Mecklenburg County leaders working to help our neighbors experiencing homelessness.
Mecklenburg County commissioners talking about the issue of Tent City and where those folks are now. Those 213 people moved out of Tent City into hotels. Of that number, 140 remain. Some of those folks who moved out of the hotels have found houses. They say there are some barriers getting everybody housing based on the fact that some have criminal histories, others have issues with bad credit, and others have drug addictions. They say they will continue to work to make sure as many people as possible find a place to lay their head.
Good morning to you. I'm Billie Jean Shaw. June 24th, that's the deadline that all South Carolina school districts have to turn in a plan outlining how they safely plan on bringing students and teachers back in the fall. We got a hold of Rock Hill and Fort Mills draft. Now, while they're two separate school districts, some of the things are the same. They plan on having in-person learning full time. Masks will remain optional. There will also be social distancing measures as the CDC is still requiring that people stay 6 feet apart. Again, this is all a draft. The finalized plans have to be turned in by the 24th.
A former airline employee has been arrested after a security breach at Charlotte Douglas Airport. CMPD says the former employee snuck past TSA by using an employee-only door and boarded an American Airlines flight to Cancun. The flight had to turn around mid-air and return to the airport. The former employee was taken into custody and is charged with trespassing.
Today, CMS will hold a career fair for its Camp CMS summer programs. The district is looking for more teachers and teaching assistants. Teachers are eligible for an up to $2,500 bonus. CMS says candidates have to be licensed in North Carolina, but they do not have to be a CMS employee. Today's event is from 4 to 7 at the Bishop Spa Administrative Center in West Charlotte.
Today, Fort Mill schools will hold their high school graduation ceremonies. All graduations will be held at each school's receptive football stadium starting at 9 a.m. More than 1,100 seniors will receive their diplomas. Each graduate is allowed to bring 4 guests.
Good morning, everybody. Trending online, a new football stadium is still in the future for Charlotte. Panthers owner David Tepper giving an update saying that there are some changes after an unpredictable year. So let's talk about when we could see a new stadium, what it would look like, and where. First, with location. Of course, it's located in the heart of Uptown, Bank of America Stadium. Such a great place for it. And Tepper is saying that the new stadium could be built right on top of the old one. He says that the team would play somewhere else for a couple of years while it's under construction, and that other teams have done this in the past. Now, regardless of where it's built, there is one thing Tepper is saying will not be coming to a new Panthers stadium, and that is he does not want a dome. If you remember, back in 2019, he was considering adding a retractable roof to the stadium. He didn't specify anything about that this go around, but he did say that the weather is too beautiful here in Charlotte to close the new stadium in, especially after COVID. It doesn't seem like that would be a good idea anyway. So when could a new stadium be built? Well, originally his goal was within the next 5 to 10 years. He didn't say whether or not that timeline is still realistic, but did say he thinks it will have to happen eventually.
You know, at some point that building will fall down. Okay, so we would, it's a question, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm not building the stadium alone. The community's going to have to want it.
People on board to make it happen. So are you yay or nay to a new stadium? over the next 5 to 10 years if we're sticking with his original timeline? Leave a comment below, and while you're at it, let me know if you'd like it to have a retractable roof or not, guys.
All right, Rachel, thanks. Time now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. This week we learned that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is going to space. Pretty soon he won't be alone. Sending regular folks into space will likely start happening a lot more often.
Space tourism could finally be launching into reality. Let's connect the dots. It all started in 2001 when wealthy businessman Dennis Tito paid $20 million for a seat on a Russian spacecraft. It was a pricey ticket for a short trip, and since then, only 7 people have followed suit. According to reports, NASA has always been hesitant to allow tourists on board. It was really only the Russians doing this because they were looking to cover costs. But now, with the rise of private space companies, options for tourists to travel into space are popping up left and right. Blue Origin is planning a flight in July with Jeff Bezos and his brother on board, and the winner of an online auction will also get to join. And in September, SpaceX is doing something similar. But keep in mind, right now these excursions are still only for the extremely wealthy. Tickets range from $200,000 to $55 million, keeping the stars way out of reach for most of us. And that is connecting the dots.
Would you go?
Yeah.
After a lot of other people go first?
Yeah, I would let them go first.
Work out the kinks.
But I think, if it becomes a normal thing, how cool would that be?
Yeah, for sure. Although then it won't be as cool if everybody else is doing it.
Right, rather than being the first person.
I know, right. Make sure you join us every single weekday morning, 4:30 a.m. for Wake Up Charlotte.